Hello and welcome back to Learn Piano Live. This is lesson number 12. We're talking about common chord progressions. Welcome. Nano, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, I'm a little bit loopy. I had no, this isn't the normal loopy. I took some meds today that I thought were like the non-drowsy allergy stuff. Not so much. Not so much. So yeah, if I start talking about like banjo technique or harmonica or something, you gotta jump in here and help me out. But anyway, tonight we are supposed to be talking about, as long as the meds don't kick in here, we're supposed to be talking about common chord progressions. This is the intermediate lesson, so I'm assuming that you already have a concept of keys and stuff and how they work, and you've already played some chords and stuff like that. If not, go check out the archives for the beginning lesson, because we break it all down in the beginning lesson. So anyway, the reason that common chord progressions is important and being able to recognize them is because you want to be able to, as you're playing chords and stuff, be able to recognize what key you're playing. And a lot of times you'll get like a chord sheet, or you'll download chords off the internet or whatever, and it'll have like it goes from a D minor to a G to a C to an F, and you're like, am I in the key of D minor? Am I in the key of G? Am I in the key of F? What am I? So hopefully when you notice common chord progressions, you'll notice like a D minor to a G to a C to an F. That's a 2-5-1-4. That's really common, and that would be in the key of C. And so just by looking at the chords of a song, you'll be able to tell what key you're in. You'll be able to reorient yourself then better and better predict the upcoming chords as well as solo and stuff better. So that's the goal for tonight, is that you would recognize some of these common chord progressions, and when you see them, you'll be able to tell what key you're in. So first of all, you need to download the PDF. So go ahead and click on the PDF button over there, and then I'm actually going to show you the PDF here. So if you've downloaded it, printed it out, or whatever, I don't know, who prints out stuff anymore? I don't know. Maybe you don't have it printed out. Maybe that's not a thing. Anyway, if you're looking at that, this is all of the chord families. So like I talked about just a second, if you're seeing a D minor and a G and a C and an F, those chords are going to show up in the key of C. And you'll see there at the very top of the list, it says key of C, the 1 chord is C, the 2 chord is D minor, the 3 chord is E minor, the 4 chord is F, the 5 chord is G, the 6 chord is A minor. Hopefully you're already familiar with the key of C, and so you recognize that, you know, these chords right here, oh, you can't see them, that's stupid. There we go. So you recognize that these chords here are all in the key of C. So if you're not hitting any black notes, you already know we're in the key of C. However, in the key of D, that might not be as common for you. And so if you're seeing, for example, an E minor to an A to a D to a G, in that case, then you'll recognize, hopefully, once you get familiar with all of the chords from the key of D, you'll recognize, oh, that's the key of D. And as well as, hopefully, you've played some scales before, you're familiar with the concept of playing the scales. If you're seeing just that C sharp and that F sharp show up frequently in the chords that you're playing, pay attention not only to the melody and where the melody's going, but also pay attention to the chords that you're playing. And if you're only seeing, like there you've got an F sharp and you got a C sharp, well then, you know, you're in the key of D. So the chords work just as well as the melody to tell you what key we're in. But anyway, your PDF shows you all of the chords in all of the keys, so you can get really familiar with all those chord families. Then, from there, we just need to talk about some common chord progressions. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 1-5-6-4, the 1-6-2-5, as well as the 3-6-2-5, and then the walk down that is the 1-5/7, 6, 1/5, 4, 1/3, 2, 5. Hang on, I'll show you all of that. So the first one is the 1-5-6-4. You might remember we did a lesson a couple weeks ago on this, which was the 4-chord song, and we went through like, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 songs that all had 1-5-6-4, 1-5-6-4 repeating over and over. So hopefully you're kind of already familiar with that one. Let's try it in a couple different keys. First of all, the key of C, it's going to be a 1 to a 5, which is going to be a G chord, to a 6, it's going to be A minor, to a 4, which is going to be an F in the key of C. So 1, 5, 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4, and then I'm just using different inversions for those chords. So let's try that at about this speed right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 1 chord, to the 5 chord, 6 chord, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, to the 4. Let's try that same exact thing in the key of D. Since we already talked about the key of D, we're going to go, obviously this is going to be our 1 chord, the D chord. The 5 chord is going to be that A. The 6 chord is going to be B minor. And the 4 chord is going to be D. If you're not already familiar with that, you can check out the PDF again. That's going to have there for you the key of D. The 1 chord is going to be D. The 5 chord is going to be A. The 6 says it's B minor, and the 4 says that it's G. So those are your 1, 5, 6, 4. So my recommendation is for all the progressions that we talk about tonight, that you take it, you work it out in the key of C, because obviously on piano that's going to be the easiest one, and then you cycle it through all of the other keys that you're really familiar with. If you don't want to do D flat and G flat and A flat and some of the harder ones, that's fine. Just begin with the keys that you're really familiar with and that you find yourself playing in a lot, and then eventually work these progressions through all 12 keys, because at some point, I guarantee, if you keep playing, you're going to hit these progressions we talk about tonight in every single key. Guaranteed. They're just that common. So anyway, back to the key of D. We're going to go 1, 5, 6, 4. Let's speed it up just a little bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4. Back to the 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 1. So that's the key of D. Then you would, again, cycle all of these chord progressions through all the rest of them. So you're going to practice this in the key of E, the key of F, the key of G, the key of A, maybe not the key of B, but eventually the key of B and all the others. So the next chord progression I want to talk about is the 1, 6, 2, 5. Now, last week or the week before in the intermediate lesson, we talked about the 1, 6, 4, 5, and we talked about that last night in the beginner lesson as well. And then we talked about how you can switch out the 2 for the 4 chord. So whenever you've got a 4 chord, I'm back in the key of C now. If you've got a 4 chord, you can take that 4 chord and substitute out a 2 chord oftentimes. So if we've got, like, for example, the chord progression 1, 4, 4, 5. 1, 4, 4, 5. 1, 4, 4, 5. 1, 4. We can take that second 4 and turn it into a 2, and it would sound like this: 1, 4, 2, 5. 1, 4, 2, 5. 4. And just add a little bit more flavor than the 1, 4, 4, 5. Pretty much anywhere you see a 4 chord, you can substitute in a 2. Try it a lot, overdo it a lot, use the 2 every single time you see a 4, and then you'll start to get a flavor for it, and then you'll be able to do it more appropriately once you kind of know what the 2 is going to sound like compared to the 4. It's just a little bit darker, but it moves to the 5 a lot more cleanly. This 2 really wants to go to a 5, and then it wants to go to a 1. So that's a lot more convincing of a move. 2, 5, 1, then 4, 5, 1. So anyway, try that out, substituting in the 2s for the 4s. But what we're doing this week is we're taking the 1, 6, 4, 5. We're going to take that progression. We're going to substitute the 2 in place of the 4, and we're going to end up with 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. if you're playing along, we've got 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. And this is, next to the 1, 5, 6, 4, which has been really popular now for several years. This is perhaps the most commonly used set of chords that there is the 1, 6, 2, 5. So knowing this in every key, it's going to be really, really helpful for you. We're going to just play it in the key of C for right now. You might recognize these chords as the 1, the 6, the 2, and then the 5 are the chords used for that heart and soul song. If you don't play it that way, you probably play it as 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. Just another place where the 4 gets substituted for the 2, and the 2 just adds a little bit more color. So let's try that, not that version of the 1, 6, 4, 5, or 2, 5. But let's try this one right here. So here we go. We're going to be in the key of C. We're going to go 1, 6, 2, 5. Ready? Go. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. So that's the 1, 6, 2, 5. Now let me show you one other progression that's really closely related to that, and that is we go 1, 6, 2, 5. Now all that's the same, but the second time we go around, we're going to substitute out, just like we substitute the 2 for the 4, we're going to substitute in the 3 for the 1. So we're going to go 1, 6, 2, 5, and then the second time around, instead of hitting the 1, we're going to hit a 3, and then do the exact same thing we did, 6, 2, 5. So we've got, it's an 8-chord progression, but the 3 of them just repeat. So it's 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. Here we go. Good luck. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 6, 2, 5. Here comes the 3 in place of the 1. 3, 6, 2, 5, and now we're back to the 1. Back at the top of the progression. 1, 6, 2, 5. Here comes the 3, 3, 6, 2, 5, and back to the top. 1, 6, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. And that's the 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, which sounds crazy long. It's basically the same thing twice in a row with a substituted 3 for the 1. Let's try that one more time, this time in the key of F. So we're going to go, the key of F only has B flat in it, so not to worry, just one black note. We've got 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, and then we're back to the 1. One more time. We got 1, 6, 2. Hopefully you're already thinking about that 5. Playing the 5. We're playing the 3 now instead of the 1. 6, 2, 5. Here's the same thing in the key of F. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 6, top. 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, and back to the 1. So there you go, and again, we're going to cycle that through all the keys. So next we're going to try the key of G, and then the key of A, and then the key of B flat, and the key of E flat, and then just work your way up to the ones that you're most terrified of for a good reason, because there's crazy, crazy black notes in there. So anyway, that's your 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. The last one I want to show you is a really common walk down. Now this is all based on a bass line that just goes from 1 on down. It's going to go 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then we're going to try to get back to the 1 by going to a 5. And then the whole thing just repeats over. So we got 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5. Just a straight walk down. Now we need to find chords up here that are going to go along with that. So here on the 1, we're going to play a 1. After that, we're going to go to the 7. I've told you several times, we almost never play 7s. So instead of playing the 7 chord, which is going to sound all weird, we're going to play the 5 chord, which has a 7 in it. So 1, and then a 5 chord with a 7 in the bass, or a 5/7 or 5 over 7. 1, 5 over 7. When we get to the 6 down here, we're going to play the 6 chord. When we get down to the 5, instead of going to the 5, we could either go to the 5 or play the 1. The 1 has a 5 in it right there. So 5 or 1 over 5. And then 4, we're going to play the 4 chord. On the 3, we're going to play a 1 chord, because a 1 chord has the 3 in it right there. And then the 2, we're going to play a 2 chord. And then 5. So in every case, we're just playing the chord that's in our left hand, except when we get down to that 7, we don't want that chord. We're going to play that one. And then 6, 5, 4. On the 3 chord, we're also going to substitute out the 1 chord on top over 3. Other than that, other than the 7 and the 3, you can play just the chords that we're doing down here. And then 5, and then back to the top, with the exception of the 7 and the 3. Here's what that sounds like. One, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 1. Here's the 6 chord. Here's the 1 over 5 or the 5 chord. 4 chord. Here's that 1 over 3, the 1 chord in the right hand, 3 in the bass, 2 chord. Then we go to the 5 chord. We start the whole thing over again. 1, 5 over 7. 6 chord, 1 over 5, 4, 1 over 3, 2, and here's the 5 chord, 1, Now if we double time it, and we take half as much time on each chord, 1, 2, 3. 1, 5 over 7, 6, 1 over 5, 4, 1 over 3, 2, 5. So as you can tell, it's a lot of chords in there, but it's all just based on that walking down line and the fact that you don't want to play the 7 chords. Here we're going to play the 5 chord as a substitute, and that's really super common as well. So again, the ones we've gone over tonight are the 1, 5, 6, 4, the 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, and then this just straight walk down that is crazy to say out loud, but makes sense when you take a look at the bass line. It just goes straight down to 2, and then it hits a 5, which is a 1, 5 over 7, 6, 1 over 5, 4, 1 over 3, 2, 5, and then back to the 1. So I want to show you our feature tonight is our secondary dominants. So let me show you what secondary dominants are real quick, in case you haven't heard of those. As you know, in each chord family, we've got, like in the key of C, we've got the 1, the 4, and the 5 come out as major. But then the 2, and the 3, and the 6 are all minor. Now, there are cases where you can take the 2, the 3, and the 6 and change them, especially in the second one that we talked about tonight, the 1-6-2-5, 3-6-2-5. If you see that, we can take those 3s, 6s, and 2s and turn them into majors. So for example, we got the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 1 chord, the 6 chord, the 2 chord, and the 5 chord. If we just take that loop and take all of the minor chords, which are the 6 and the 2, and we turn them into major chords, it sounds like this. Instead of 1, 6, 2, 5, it sounds like this. 1, 6, 2, 5. So 1, 6, 2, 5. Then when we go to the 3, we can turn that one major if we want as well. 3, 6, 2, 5, and then we're back to our 1. So 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. Let's try a swing with this one. I'll give it to you about that pace right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2. So we got the 1, the major 6, major 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. Now these are called secondary dominants because a lot of times they are dominant, meaning that you add in the note that is a whole step below the root. So on the 6th chord, we're going to add in this note right here. And again, this is all extra stuff. So if this feels overwhelming and the other part was enough for you to work on for the next year, then cool, take it and just leave all of this junk behind. But if this seems interesting to you, we take that major chord and we just add in that note that's 2 half steps below the root. So that's going to be our 6th chord, our major 6th chord. Go into the 2 chord. This is our 2 chord. We add in this note right here. And then on our 3, we're going to add in this chord, this note right here. So we've got our 1 chord, our 6th chord, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, and 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. Now, again, that's like way overdoing it. So I took every single possible secondary dominant that I could and crammed them all into this one progression. So if it seems like kind of out there, just try changing up one of them, like just the 6th chord. And then, so that sounds a little bit more normal when we only change the 6th chord in there. So again, we're going to take that, we're going to cycle through the key of F, the key of G, the key, all of your keys. So the theme for tonight is take any chord progression that you're working on. If you see it in several songs, you know you're going to see it in several other songs. So take that same one and work it through all of the keys, the chord families that you have in your PDF. Now is the time for you to send your questions into Nano the Moderator, and I've got to come up with a better name than Nano the Moderator.
Nano the Moderator.
I'm sorry, man. We'll come up with a fancy name.
I like it.
That's a lie, but okay. All right. So anyway, send your questions to Nano the Great, and let me show you
There we go.
Let me show you what your MP3 is going to be this week. If you download that, you go onto your second page here. The left column is all I wrote out every single major and minor chord. So if you don't know how to play, for example, a G flat minor chord, it's going to tell you right over here. You go to the minor column, and then you go to G flat, and it's going to tell you you're supposed to play a G flat, and then an A, and then a D flat, and that's a G flat minors. But my guess is, as an intermediate player, you're not going to need that a whole lot because you're already creating a lot of major and minor chords. However, over here it says MP3, and it says it's in the key of C and G and F and A flat and D flat. That's why your MP3 is 13 minutes long this week. It goes through this progression that you see here in each one of those keys. So we've got the 1 chord, then the 4 chord, then the 5 chord, then the 5 chord. So last week you were trying to transcribe. I was just playing the chords for you, and you were trying to figure out, is this a 1 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or what is it? And this week I've given you all of the answers. It's just your job to play them all. So you're going to play it. You're going to have a 4 click into it. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and bam, you're going to be playing a 1 chord, and then a 4 chord, and then a 5 chord, which is super easy in the key of C. But we got beginners with us trying to play this stuff too. So it's going to get harder and harder as you go farther and farther down. In the end, we start playing these weird slash chords: 1, 5 over 7, 6, 1 over 5, 4, 1 over 3, 2, 5, 1. Hey, we've seen that somewhere before. So you're going to practice all the stuff that we talked about tonight later on in the MP3. If you can play along with that and it feels really, really super easy to you, then cool. Just wait for 5 seconds after that track is over, and it's going to start back up again in that next key, the key of G. And then after that, it's going to start up in the key of F, and then the key of A flat, and the key of D flat. So there's a lot of work to be done. You got a lot of kind of tough progressions in some definitely difficult keys. So good luck with that. That's your homework for tonight. And Nano, what do we got for questions?
Okay, so first up is from Christy. And she's asking, how can I tell what key a song is in if it has a secondary dominant in it?
Okay.
Or dominants, plural. Either one.
Right. Because I think what she's talking about is, you said Chris or Christy?
Christy.
Okay. So Christy, if you've got, I don't know. In the end, you're going to have to listen for where does it feel like the song is landing. So in the thing that we did, it definitely wants to land on that 1 chord right there. That feels like home. So even with secondary dominants, it's not like changing keys where you're changing actually where it feels like home is. You're just throwing in a couple odd notes that are outside the key. So you should still be able to feel that home when it gets back around to home. But for a measure or two while you're on the secondary dominants, it might be really hard, especially if you're doing the note inventory thing where you're just trying to play all the notes that sound right, because you're going to come up with some really weird notes that sound right, obviously, with the secondary dominants. So great question. The answer is, I think, wait for home and don't do the note inventory thing, because that will mess with your head. Next one.
Nate wants to know what song you would recommend to transcribe for this month's homework.
Okay, well, this month's homework is to take one song that you like and that you think you can probably transcribe and try to transcribe. For intermediate, you're probably going to transcribe both the chords of the song and also you're going to transcribe the melody and try to play them both together and submit your videos of you playing the song that you've transcribed. Don't worry if you mess up. We're all on the same journey. We're just trying to get a little bit better. So if you sound a little bit better than you did a month ago, then cool. Send in your homework. Send in your submissions. As far as suggestions for songs, any of them that we've mentioned here in the lessons are probably going to be fine for you to try to transcribe. But really, the assignment is for you to pick something that you like. So whatever you like, I think, is the right answer. I don't want to mess you up with my preferences.
Cool. And the final question, Will wants to know, when are you going to start doing lessons for my kids?
I am not at liberty to say. I'm really, really hoping that by this Sunday, or maybe the Sunday after that, we can have something up and running for kids, because we've had a lot of requests in that similar direction. So yeah, so stay tuned. There is news coming, and I just told you what the news is. We're putting up a kid's site. That's the news. So, but I guess I felt like I was supposed to. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow is the advanced lesson. If tonight felt too easy for you and you want some tougher stuff, join us tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see you in the intermediate lesson next week when we talk about voicing pop chords. So like some of the other stuff that I was doing in here tonight with the, we were doing this and I was some of that stuff, going away from just the regular triads and cool ways to voice those chords and make them sound a little bit niftier. Then join us next week, Monday beginners, Tuesday intermediate, and Wednesday advanced, just like this week. And if you like what you're getting here, then please tell a friend. We rely on word of mouth. And if you don't like what you see here, then don't tell anybody. But please do fill out the survey and let us know your thoughts on what we could improve for you, or even fill in some questions that maybe you had after the lesson that you didn't have during the lesson, and let us know how it is we can better serve you. See you next week.